Hello everyone, welcome back to the Anxiety Project channel. Today we're talking about the scattered mind of the anxiety sufferer. Why are they so scatterbrained? Why are they clumsy? Why are they worrying so much? Why do they feel like they're weak and they're guilty and shameful 24/7? I mean, that was the mind I inhabited when I was suffering from anxiety. And this identity builds and builds the more you play this out, the more you act out that dependent, reassuring kind of person who makes mistakes and can never get control over their faculties. I mean, my parents always, looked at me as someone forgetful. Why are you so forgetful all the time? Well, let's talk about that, because the person with anxiety, their parasympathetic nervous system is not on. That's their rest and digest system. But their sympathetic nervous system is active 24/7. They're in this fight, flight, or freeze response continuously. They're pressing down on this gas pedal, but the car is in park. They're burning up all of these resources. They're constantly feeling like they're in a rush all the time, and their identity is being built upon this rocky foundation. And the more you act out that person, the more you actually view yourself in the mirror as being that person. And so someone with anxiety going through this disorder, order that is disrupted, not enough order, right? They're swimming in the black paisley of the yin and yang, the white and the black, right? The black, the chaos with the white in it, the little bit of order, and then the white paisley with the little bit of chaos in it. And the proper path is in between a little bit of order and a little bit of voluntary chaos. And the anxiety sufferer, they're swimming out in chaos. They need order. They need a structure. There's no balance in someone's life like that. None at all. They need balance and they need to add routine. But I don't want to have routine. I want to live this free, flamboyant. Trust me, you don't want to live like that, because I was living like that. I wanted to live like that, but my anxiety got worse and worse, because an anxiety sufferer, their goals are fragmented. There's too many pathways ahead of them, and they just don't know what to do. They're paralyzed by the predator that is options, potential. There's just too much. And what that means is they don't have a foundation to fall back on in a landscape of uncertainty. They don't have a foundation. That's what the fire in the little tribe represents, right? Within the whole world of unknown and threat, we've built up a little community to kind of, this is where we eat, we sleep, and we're with our family. And this is where we can unwind and we can not be in fight, flight, or freeze. Because when you go out into the unknown, you have to be alert. You have to be awake so that whenever any anomaly does take place, you can respond accordingly to that. So the anxiety sufferer, they wake up, even if it's in their own bed, anxious and confused, because they don't have a vision. They don't know where they're going. They're just so consumed by potential and the unknown. There's no vision. There's too many directions to take in their life. And so when an obstacle comes up, which is the obstacle being, because we're all aiming towards something, and then what happens when something gets in the way of your aim? You get negative emotion. It's like the messy room, right? You're stepping over clothes, you're stepping over papers, and you're trying to look through things and nothing's organized. So what are you going to feel? Negative emotion. Well, why? Because you're looking for something in specific. You're narrow-minded in a way where you're looking for a certain thing, one thing, but then there's too much of what you don't want to be in your way. Negative emotion. And so your space that you inhabit is cluttered up with things, and your space gets smaller and smaller and smaller. What happens when you clean up a room? What happens when you minimalize your life? You increase the space. So what happens when you fill up your day with things to do all the time? Like you're rushing around trying to do errands, trying to please people, trying to get to your job and to do that complicated task. You're trying to pick up groceries. The list is overwhelming you. What do? Well, you have to minimalize your life. Just like me, when I used to suffer from anxiety, I had to sit down and say, how do I add space in my life? Then I would go, well, I'm hanging around negative friends and smoking pot. That I just don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. That's going to help me add space and make me feel like a healthier and more self-actualized individual. I mean, I'm relying on them to kind of live this kind of flamboyant Peter Pan lifestyle. So I know I shouldn't be doing that. I should take on responsibility. So maybe I should minimize that. Okay, minimize that. How do I add more space other than that? Well, maybe getting up earlier in the morning. Instead of getting up at 10:30, get up at 6, right? So I'm adding space, and this is what you need to do. A lot of anxiety sufferers have to do this, and they have to build on predictability as well, because when you set up a routine for yourself, you're actually adding predictability. You're increasing the white in the white paisley of the yin and yang, and you're decreasing the amount of chaos you're swimming in. So that's going to help regulate your anxiety. So adding space into your life is crucial, because if you don't have any sacred time in your day-to-day, you're not truly living and you're not truly giving back to yourself in any way whatsoever. And if you can't give back to yourself, how are you going to take care of the people around you? Because life is so damn complicated. How are you going to take care of other people if you're running around anxious, thinking that you're clumsy and unhealthy and anxious? What's going on here? So to get out of this chaotic frame of mind, of the scatterbrained chaotic frame of mind, you have to adopt the spirit of never-ending growth, the spirit of God, the spirit of truth, that we need something to follow and we need a structure in our life. And then to calm down this sympathetic nervous system, you have to engage in calming strategies. So having that space to meditate, having that space to take a walk in the morning with no cell phone, taking that time to do breathing exercises in the car before you show up at work, these spaces will help you relax. It'll give you some sort of foundation to which you then move on towards what's difficult in your life. Because if you're finding work to be difficult or meaningless, add some meaning in your life behind the scenes, and then the other things in your life that seem meaningless won't seem so meaningless. It'll actually have a purpose. That the work itself that is grueling, it might actually be something worthwhile when behind the scenes you're taking that precious time to kind of bloom into this self-actualized person. Lastly, gain power over the mind. Focus on what you can control and then accept what you can't. You've wasted time? Good, use that as fuel. Take the lessons of what you learned when you were in this unconscious Ouroboros type state of mind, and then take all of that and use it as a reference to where you don't want to be in life, and then create a vision and an aim of where you actually want to go in the future. This will help flesh out and increase the pixelation of your future aims. And that's where I'm going to leave you today on this video. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for being a supporter of this community, and let's grow together as we strive forward to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Anxiety is difficult. Anxiety is paralyzing. I understand. I came from that. I came from agoraphobia. I came from health anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder. That was all me. And so I hope that you find this uplifting and powerful, and it gives you fuel to be better than you are. No medications, no reassurance. It's just, I just want to give you my experience. Rise above anxiety. I'll see you next time. Thank you everybody for being a part of this community. Please comment below. Also, give this a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because then you'll be the first to know whenever I release a new video.